what impresses you about the Blazers?
Well, everything impressed me about them. They're big, fast, talented, experienced. Just about any descriptive word. They're by far the best football team we've seen all the year. And so, they're and playing them at home, and we get to make a 8-hour trip under the good old NCAA rules that says we're about 15 miles short of flying down there. So we get to drive down there, and it makes it for a tough. It really makes it for a tough one. And but what's life? We need some good challenges in life, and this is another one. And and this group of kids don't understand anything less than going out there and seeing what they can get done. So let's go see what happens.
How nice is that that's the mentality of this team?
Well, it's good, and the majority of them have got. All of them have the want to. Not all of them understand exactly what it takes to get it done, but collectively, it's a good group to coach.
Caden Cochran, Valdosta's quarterback, transfer from Oklahoma. They've got several D1 transfers. Just how deep does the talent run for them?
Well, very talented, and there's a big difference between the scholarship limit that we have and the scholarship limit that they have, and it's not hard to see it, by substitutions and injuries and who they put on the field, and the fact that they've got some rules that help them as far as admissions and financial aid that gives them a whole lot of leeway, and it really chokes us down. And so, it's one of them deals that is, again, not a very level playing field, but that's okay. I mean, life, that's life, and we'll go do the best we can with it, and try to honor the Lord through all of it.
You bring up honoring the Lord. How does another round of playing football enable you to do that?
Well, it gives us another week together to influence each other and talk about real issues that football as a laboratory of learning helps us to deal with. And life is a big old learning experience, getting us ready for eternity. And so this is another opportunity for us to have teachable moments together and times together, and try to learn and grow and keep developing as men, and keep working on not malehood but menhood, and keep trying to get that done. It's I know you think I was supposed to say manhood, but you're from West Virginia. You don't understand the real English language like I do, and so but we're grateful for just to be playing this time of year. Mike Van Bruggen made a comment. Our trainer made a comment a while ago. He said, "Good, I get to tape ankles in December for football," and so that's pretty good to be playing in December.
Have you memorized Kurt Duncan's war chant yet?
Sure, I got that thing down, and the fact is, I got the actions down. Anytime you want me to demonstrate on camera, let me know.
Was it nice to see the team kind of come together like that, especially after the game? You had the post-game prayer with Lenore Ryan, then Carson-Newman had its own separate deal, and then we got to see that.
Yeah, it was. And did any of the networks put that on? I didn't see. I hadn't heard any comments about it much, so I was curious if, because there's a couple of TV networks there that taped that when we got through, and they probably think that we're into some kind of speaking in tongues or something, which it is speaking in tongues. It's teaching in Xhosa language.
What's it mean that your team is capable of having that much fun at this stage of it?
Well,
it's serious, but there's
football's a game. We need to remember that it's a game. It's not life or death. It's a game. And But it's the greatest game on earth as far as I'm concerned, as far as the teachability. It's a microcosm of so many things that we face in life, and so I'm just glad to be a dumb old coach, football coach.
Of course, you've been coaching for so long and have guided Carson along in playoff runs like this before. Are there any years you can go back to and come up with a comparable situation where the Eagles will have this Saturday having to go on a road against a very good team like Valdosta State?
Well, we've had a bunch. I can remember back in the 80s when, and I wish you wouldn't say that since you've been doing this so long. But anyway, we were, they sent us to Central State, Ohio a couple of times when they had about 11 or 12 NFL draftees on that team. And I'm telling you, and one time the ground was frozen and it was really, really cold. And it was an ugly scene up there. And so we went up there twice and we came back with 2 victories. And that was as a tough assignment. This is a tough assignment. There's no question about it. All the odds are against us on this one. And I can remember some other times, 3 years ago, our last time to playoffs, we went to a place called Grand Valley State where there's a foot of snow on the ground and a chill factor of about -3. And when we played the ball game, and it was a tough situation, and all those kinds of things are great teachable moments and great times to where you find out what you're made out of. If you get a chance to step up or step down, you have a choice. And we realize that we got a real battle on our hands, and we realize that the odds against us are high, and but we also know that that it's an opportunity. So we'd like to. We're just going to go in faith and go see what happens.
You look at Valdosta State, and their offense is incredibly balanced. 2 800-yard receivers, 2 800-yard rushers. How do they attain that?
Well, they got talent everywhere, and they've got a good scheme where they can. It's really, really a good offensive football team. I believe they got 5 senior offensive linemen, which means that they're very, very talented on offense up front. And and I think that's the secret to their whole team. And then you throw in, about 5 or 3 or 4 Division I skilled people in there, and transferred skilled people. And it makes for a good football team that can run and throw and mix it in equally well.
Stands out to you about their wide receiver, Gerald Ford?
Yeah, I think he still ought to be someplace looking at the Gerald Ford library someplace. Go to that place, But he's really a good football player. He can run. He's got size. He's a very talented football player.